going on, adventurers? VacaJ, Vacation Education.
This is an episode that you might not be able to escape.
And today we're coming to you from Mount Holly, New Jersey. I got my VacaJD with me right back there. He's going to be accompanying me today on this historical adventure.
Say hysterical?
Well, every time you tune in to Vacation Education, it's always going to be a little hysterical. Over here to the left, the Mount Holly Historic Prison. This jail here has been here since 1881. It is no longer in use, and now it is a historical prison destination.
It was in use to 1965, I believe.
Right, into the 1960s, criminals were housed here. And some of the cool little things before we go in here that really apply to the vacation education part of it is they do say that it's possible that this jail could be haunted.
Scary situation.
There were some people that were executed here for crimes. They actually were hung out back of the jail, and we'll get to see that area as well. So we're inviting you to join us today in this vacation education adventure. Let's go! We walked across the street here. The first thing you see is historic prison. This Burlington County Jail was designed in 1808. I guess his layout and design still influence how they make jails today. One of the reasons we wanted to check this place out is obviously we've been to a couple different jails and penitentiaries in the past. We've actually been to the Eastern State Penitentiary, and you gotta go check out that video because we were there during like Halloween time. So it kind of has like that funny, spooky, historic feeling about it. I mean, there's something about prisons and penitentiaries and jails that is kind of bizarre and weird, right? So let's go in and check it out and see what the prison here has to offer. Let's go. So here's the sign right up front of the building. It says Historic Burlington County Prison Museum, National Historic Landmark, 1811 to 1965. And if you want to check them out online right there, it's www.prisonmuseum.net. There's the front of the prison right there to kind of give you a good idea. Man, the thing's awesome. We've been past this a million times. Always wanted to stop in and check it out. Today's the day. Today is the day. Museum admission, adults, $5. Seniors military ID, $3. Students, $2. Children of 5, free audio tour. If you want to get in on the audio experience, is an extra $3. Now, the other thing to keep in mind, okay, is the museum hours, all right? It's only open Thursday through Sunday. Okay, it's not open during the week, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m., and then Sunday, noon to 4. The gentleman just told us right now that if you wanted to take a private tour of the prison, you can do it during the week. You just got to set it up for an appointment.
Cool.
So we're heading in. And as soon as you walk in, I mean, check out that door right there. Wow, that thing's pretty incredible.
Got a peephole.
Yeah, make sure who's coming, all the comings and goings.
This has got to be the original door.
Oh, that's absolutely the original door right there.
You got to look at this lock on the other side.
Wow, that thing is neat. Hey, how you doing today?
Good, how are you?
Very good. Okay, so my dad happens to be a senior, if it's not already apparent, and I'm just a regular adult, basically.
Alright, so then it's going to be a
There's
total
nothing
of
regular about it.
$8.
$8. All right, wonderful. There you are. Thank you. Enjoy your experience here at the prison. You can take some of it home with you. Thank you. They have some books and history. And of course, I actually have watched a couple shows where they came here and they were testing for ghosts and paranormal stuff and everything. Oh yeah, for sure. That's a good question. Have you experienced any ghosts here?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
It's consistently almost every single day. Sometimes there's a little break.
If there's a certain place like in here that when we're walking through that, like, I don't know, you had the most experience in, like, you know, paranormal wise, what would you say it might be? Like what area?
I would say the dungeon,
Oh, the dungeon. Well, I mean, that makes sense.
but the whole place is
Okay.
extremely active.
Some executions here and stuff, people hung out back. The 4 people, I think it was, or
So 6 were on site,
6 were on site.
2
Okay.
were off site.
Okay. As we're walking around here, you never know what's going to happen. So you're going to make sure you want to tune in for the entire video. Make sure you hit the like and subscribe button, hit the notification button. My dad has handcuffs. You're not going anywhere.
Handcuff keychain.
Of course.
Gotta love it.
I mean, you're saying to yourself, I never knew I needed a handcuff keychain until right now.
If you pulled down on this notch
Uh-huh.
and opened it, you
It
can
actually
actually
opens it.
open it.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
And same way closing it.
This is the original key,
Not to VKJ's heart. No, no, to the prison here. Original key from
I
1811.
believe they still have that.
And there is the lock right there that the original key went to.
And it looks like there's like this huge bar that you would put across the door too. You know, that gigantic bar. It's an extra
Protection.
yeah.
Question is, has anyone ever tried to break out or has broken out from this prison when it was, in use?
There has been hundreds of escape attempts. One went out the front door because a caretaker forgot to lock it.
Was the person after they escaped apprehended? Did you know?
Yes.
Okay.
He stole a horse and buggy after he got out,
Mm-hmm.
made his way down to Philadelphia,
Nice.
and then was apprehended and brought back here.
You can run from Mount Holly prison, but you can't hide.
Do you know Albert DeSalvo?
Can't say I've heard of that.
Albert DeSalva, no.
Then the nickname, Boston Strangler.
Well, we all heard of that one.
Yes, he was here. So while he was a soldier over at Fort Dix, he was arrested and charged with carnal abuse. And then he was brought in here, was here for 2 days. The military authorities came, picked him up, and then brought him back to the base.
We have our treasure/prison map. It says, welcome to the historic Burlington County Prison Museum. And it's got some more information on there, but it's going to guide us around this interesting building. All right, so we're going inside the first room here. It looks like we're inside the warden's office. This is how the warden's office might have looked in the early 1900s. So if you were the boss with the hot sauce here at the prison, this is what you got.
You got a safe up there,
Yeah, of course.
fireplace.
Got to stay warm. This says right here is the tools used to transport prisoners around from the prison to prison.
Blackjack.
Yeah, tend to use as a weapon.
This was the women's wing. Look at these doors. God, so cool. When you heard that sound, you know you're done.
That's right. So this right here says first floor. This floor contained the warden's office and held the female inmates. So let's
This
go.
is the women's wing here. Very luxurious.
Yes, of course.
Large pin. Even I think these are the ones. Are they connected?
Yes, they are.
Was that the way it was?
Yeah,
When-
so every wing was connected from the very first cell to this cell, so that way the inmates could travel to the bathroom from their cell.
But they could also go in the other cell, like with these other
Correct.
people,
Yes, they could.
so they could visit.
Yes, and that caused a lot of problems between inmates here.
Not all the cells are like that, though, right? The ones down, I think.
So originally, all of them were,
All of them
but then
were.
eventually the cells in the first floor were covered up. These guys here were kind of more of the felon inmates, so they didn't have as much freedom.
And that's why they built the peephole.
Where's the
top
people?
of it's right here, about my foot.
Oh,
You can't see through it because it's covered up, but yes, you are able to see this end of it. And if you go downstairs into the women's wing, if you look up by the smoke detector, you'll see the other end of this.
Ah, so obviously the peephole was into the women's wing. Interesting. Dang. The door's still really working everything, I'll tell you that. Ooh, this is kind of a big room back here. Maybe this was the shower facility or something. This is funny, they do have an escape room thing here, so if you wanted to do the prison escape room, you could do that. That's what that's part of. That wasn't a part of the original prison. Yeah. Huh? Pretty basic, but effective.
There's a sketch on the wall here, they say. some woman did. Well, you probably can't see it very much, but
Oh yeah, no, you can definitely see it.
so obviously plastered, painted these walls, but that's when they were redoing the place, they found that, I guess. Or we could go the rest of this floor, man. Stealing.
So this plaque right here is pretty interesting. It says prisoner facts. It says that this prison was built to hold about 40 prisoners, but at the time it closed, it was holding over 100 inmates. All right, and there's like one of the inmates right there.
Petty thieves to murderers.
It says this is the famous Boston Strangler. There he is, the Boston Strangler. This is interesting. It says the following list contains some interesting facts that were recorded in the prison registries. So if you burned a barn, you were jailed 30 days, found not guilty at trial. Okay, lunacy, taken to the sane asylum, cutting timber, 8 days. I'm not even sure.
Incorrigible.
You're incorrigible, you're getting 7 days.
What does that mean?
Bigamy, 1 year in state prison. Ooh, horse stealing, 57 days. Open lewdness, oh my gosh, 54 days. Disorderly house.
Make sure your zipper's up.
Disorderly house, 1 year in state prison. And abduction's only 14 days. That's hilarious.
What is
Oh,
James,
no.
you should be put in prison for a year.
Fornication. Marriage? Sentence. Oh God, they make you get married.
Is that Californication? I don't know.
It says here, in 1869, a 12-year-old girl was in jail for arson. Man, they were messing around. In 1873, a man, his wife, and his child were put in jail. The whole family. Oftentimes, a woman with a child too young to be left alone was committed with a child. Talk about we've come a long way since then. If you were even associated with a person that got in trouble and you were the kid, you're going in.
These things are gorgeous.
Yeah, no, it's really, they did a well job of preserving this.
This is locked.
Yep.
There's still somebody in there. Ooh, that scared me.
Dun, dun, dun. Who's that?
Straw mattress. Wooden bucket for night waste. Yeah, that was the toilet.
There wasn't any plumbing and back in the beginning, but the waste bucket also was the wash bucket. Waste bucket was the wash bucket and used by multiple people as well. So you did not even get your own waste bucket.
The Bible was recommended for reading.
Also, they had one person per cell, and they also had a fireplace. Now, there is no fireplace incidences between inmates on record.
Wow.
However, 2 inmates did light their beds on fire to attempt to escape, which failed miserably.
Family went up and down this step a million times.
Yep. So we're heading up into the second floor. And yes, there, right there, it says the warden's house. It says, one of the few changes to the prison structure occurred when the county built a house for the warden, because the warden had to live inside the jail for a long time. And, and living inside of a jail with your family, I don't know, that's asking quite a bit of your wife, to say the least. So this right here was the bridge built between the jail, the prison, and the warden's house. Wow, pretty cool. You want to have a nice little bridge from your work to your home. It's not complete without a nice view of the gallows outside where they hung. I think he said 4 to 5 prisoners were hung here. Or actually, it might have been 3 or 4, and some were actually executed in a different way, but most of them were hung right there until dead. All right, going up onto the second floor now.
So let's see.
Where are we headed?
Second floor.
What the heck? My dad said that when it got to be super overcrowded in the jail here, there was up to 2 to 5 people per cell. Phew, that was tough.
Picture Jesus.
As you walk into this cell right here, they got some more etching on the walls up there that they preserved. And this one's pretty interesting. Someone literally made a calendar and was counting down the days and crossing off the days of their prison sentence. Here's another person that put a calendar on the wall, crossing off the days. It says August, September, October, November, and I think this is December right here. So it looks like they're in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They're in at least 5 months. So whatever they did, it must have been pretty bad to be in that long back then. All right, let's see here.
That would be
This is the next cell right here.
the debtor's cell.
Yeah.
Debtors, they owe money to people.
Yep, so if you didn't pay your debts, this is where you ended up. Here. Da-ba-bum. Well, they have a nice little fireplace.
Very spacious. So it's got a lot of stuff on the walls.
Okay. Let's see what this.
It's like they kept a lot just to,
Yeah.
This is Gary.
So it looks like they have trees etched up here on the wall.
That's,
This up here looks like it was almost a drawing of maybe, could have been even the jail, maybe an escape plan. You never know.
Bob.
And it looks like this one over here is actually a picture, a mural. Maybe of someone who stayed here, maybe of the person who really did it.
Self-portrait?
It could be, like I said, or it could have been the real guilty party, etched there forever. So the cell we're about to walk into right now is called the dungeon, or maximum security cell at Burlington-Callington Prison. All right, it was located in the center of the top floor. The location was carefully chosen to prevent escape by digging to maximize communication with criminals in the other cell blocks. Anyhow, what's interesting right here, it says, tradition states that this cell is haunted. Supposedly the ghost of Joel Koff, a murderer who spent his last night there. Supposedly this next cell, the dungeon, is haunted.
1833, that's when hauntings supposedly began.
Oh, really?
In 1833, the inmates began smelling cigar smoke in the dungeon and hearing the chains rattle when nobody was in there.
Not faint, but woozy. Downstairs, like on one
Where at
spot.
downstairs?
And I was just on the wing downstairs.
We actually just got done reading the thing that the two prison cars that were murdered here.
So you are not the only person to have that uneasy feeling in that area. This is the dungeon / solitary confinement / death row.
Okay.
So up until 1906, this was really death row, solitary confinement. Those set to be executed would be chained to the floor. And then after 1906, New Jersey made it executions by electric chair up at the Trenton State Prison. And also these cutouts are so that way if an inmate wanted to ambush the warden would be able to go into these cutouts and see the entire dungeon, so there was nowhere for him to hide.
Now we're going inside death row here at Mount Holly Prison. I know. Oh my goodness. There's the chain link on this.
Do you think that's the real chain? Was it still?
I do believe that is, though, the original chain. However, Joel Clove did escape from this room.
He escaped?
Yes. So
Is that
after,
possible?
well, the first escape, he was in a regular cell, and then he got out, climbed over the wall with his bed sheets, then was captured. So they brought him back here, chained him to the floor. Well, he was able to get the chain off of his leg,
Oh my gosh.
and then he had a candle to also read, but he used that candle to melt the metal bars from the window.
Whoa.
How is that possible? The metal bars with a candle?
Yes, these were very soft.
Oh, like a lead or something, maybe, yeah.
He tried to get out, but realized he was too big to get out. So he took off all of his articles of clothing. He smuggled in a bar of soap and put the soap all over him, and with that soap was able to squeeze out of the window. But before he got out, he took blankets and his clothes, threw it out the window in front of him. So that way when he got down, he reclothed himself, tied the bed sheets together, threw it over the wall, climbed over it, and then was later recaptured over by the river. And then he was brought back in here, but the wardens declothed him and chained him to the floor without clothes.
Whatever happened to him then? Was he eventually
Yes,
let go? Or?
he's the man buried in the back.
Oh, yeah, he's the one.
What do you write on the wall when you're on death row? That's the question.
So all these writings,
Yeah.
well, all the graffiti is from 1950 to 1965. So all of the writing in here would have been just solitary confinement.
Interesting. So of course, back then, you had to have public executions, okay? And a lot of people were hung from the gallows till death. And it says right here, the following hangings were conducted in this prison yard on a gallows erected for each occasion. It says 1863, Charles Brooks; 1894, Wesley Warner; 1901, Charles Brown; 1902, John Young; 1906, George Small; 1906, Rufus Johnson. One thing that's interesting about this list, right, is that obviously they have a male and female section of the jail, but no matter what a woman did, it wasn't bad enough to get her name on this list. These were the drawings of two gentlemen that were hung here. One of the prison guards actually drew these pictures of the brothers that were hung. And supposedly, this right here was a rope that was actually from the hanging. Piece of the hangman's rope. And unfortunately, the clock right there, their pocket watch, actually stopped at the exact time of the hanging. I'm just kidding, I don't really know that, but wouldn't that be cool though?
What's going on over here?
There's some information on the second guy that was hung. He executed his lover, Lizzie Peek, and there's a picture of her right there. He killed her in a drunken rage as she was returning home from the opera in the company of friends and several other gentlemen.
Oh, see that? Ooh. Sounds like Leslie might have been
she
out with somebody else.
That's what happens.
And unfortunately, that doesn't warrant maybe a murder, but yeah, I guess he was a little upset.
So in this next room we fell upon, we walk in and we see this giant ship model here, and I'm thinking to myself, what is this doing here in the prison? And the reason it's here is because it was actually built here in the prison for the warden by one of the inmates, just using cigar boxes and things.
Piece of metal, glass, wire.
Just random things here at the prison.
Well, the funny part is the guy that built this model actually worked on the real ship. He built the real one for the Spanish-American War. So he ended up in the prison here. But he knew the ship so well, he built the real thing.
Right.
He could build the model.
Interesting.
There's this guy that ended up here. He was the Sherlock Holmes of America. Oh, cow, what's that?
I don't know. All right, let's go inside and check out this cell.
God so loved the world. Looks like somebody was religious. Was quoting the Bible here.
Right.
Like,
Well, that's all they had to read. All they had to read was the Bible, so that's all that's here. Oh my goodness. There's a huge Jesus head right there above the door.
This
It
guy-
says, God, frail creatures are we, all the fewest, false to thyself, and leave the rest to God. Thy
Can't read that. Consciousness?
Conscience and that's it. It's where he ran out of words.
That's when they killed him.
Yeah, he didn't get a chance to finish that story. But again, obviously,
This guy was repenting of his sins.
yeah.
obviously.
Well,
Trying to get on the good side.
whether he actually was or not, maybe if you did something like this, you might even get early release. And obviously, also on top of that, they only give you the Bible to read. So that's it. What else are you going to do? Some more
Oh my goodness.
inscriptions on the wall here. Very interesting. Right now we're heading down into the basement. Into the basement, the bowels of the jail. The prison.
So what was down here?
I don't know.
Basement.
What do we got?
The dining room, exercise yard. Was this supposed to be the exit out into the yard?
Into the yard.
Kitchen.
So, along with the, I think 4 or 5 people that were executed here, we just read right here that actually 2 prison guards also were murdered on the premises here. And you're thinking to yourself that they would have been murdered from, you know, someone that did some pretty heinous stuff. But no, just drunk and disorderly. They were just here for being drunk and disorderly, and they ended up killing 2 prison guards. So the prison guards, their spirits could be here too.
I felt like kind of dizzy there for a minute, right over there.
So you felt dizzy right over there when we were talking about the prison guards heading out to the courtyard.
I need some fresh air.
Absolutely.
I'm feeling the pressure.
Fresh air, Times Square. Looks like they're having an event out here.
I have a feeling as if we're going to have the rock concert.
Wow. Look at that. Just imagine you're locked up here. Obviously, this place didn't hold people for too long, but this area right here was all you had when it came to the outside world for a little while. Unless you were that dude that was here for 17 years for some reason, and then for 17 years, this is what he had. So he just told us, what was the guy's name that got buried?
Close.
Joe Clofe?
Yes.
All right, so supposedly, to add even more mystery and possibility of some ghosts being here, there was an inmate that obviously, was he executed or he just died?
Yes, he was executed.
Okay, so he was executed too. No one claimed his body, no friends, no family, no nothing. So he was buried here. They brought him back. They brought him back to the prison and they buried him right out here.
In the corner.
In the corner, right under the tree. So right under the tree right here, he's buried. I might haunt someplace after I was buried in the courtyard at the prison, wouldn't you? And there it is, the gallows. I'm surprised they don't literally have a noose dangling from the wood up there. Oh, see, there it is. So that board on the angle right there, going up right here, is the lever for the trap door that the prisoner would be standing on. So they would take it from the position that it is right there, and then they would put it over here.
So the executioner would be standing up there,
There.
by him.
Yep.
Any last words?
Yep.
And the guy would, have mercy.
And then they just push it to the right, and then it was curtains. Wow. This place was absolutely awesome. And this guy right here, let me tell you, very knowledgeable about this place, was nice enough to show us around and give us a lot of interesting facts. If you guys are in the area and you want to take an awesome tour, come here and see Kyle, and he's going to hook you up. I mean, they got a lot of stuff going on here. They have escape rooms. They got, you can take a private tour.
Yes, you can rent out the courtyard for events. And also you can rent out on Saturday nights from 7 to midnight paranormal investigations.
And if Kyle's boss is watching out there, this man needs a raise. Anyhow, Kyle, thank you so much for showing us around. We really appreciate it. Make sure you hit the like and subscribe button, hit the notification button. Until next time, we'll catch you on the next one. All right, the coast is clear. They can't keep Big KJ locked up. Man, what a cool place, right? Awesome locations, cool adventures,
history, excitement, amusement parks. That's what we do here at Vacation Education.